Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, I hope you enjoy this video. But if you do like this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss another video. If this is your second or third time or just returning in general, I truly want to thank you. I really thank you for supporting my content. For my last video, I did explain that I will be posting more. I know my last video was pretty controversial, and I will include a link. But let's jump right into it. You guys, I have been wanting to talk about this subject for quite some time. And forgive me for like no makeup today. I'm just going all out. I do have a teddy sweater on because it is cold outside. And it's a little chilly in the house right now, but that's okay. I'm like really feeling comfortable right now. I'm like totally in my element. So all is well over here. And before I jump into it, I know this might seem annoying to a lot of people, but sorry, not sorry. I do sometimes go off on tangents, but I drive it right back home. So don't trip, I drive it right back home. But if tangents are a complete turn off to you, you can go on ahead and skip to another video. So let's get right into it. So we're going to talk about why the value of luxury brands have gone down. And I'm going to also get into, share with you guys a cute, funny story on why my boyfriend decided not to give me a luxury item for my birthday. And I will talk about what that luxury item is in particular. So why have luxury brands gone down? In my personal opinion, I feel like they have gone down, especially when it comes to luxury handbags. Because of the accessibility. Now, as we know, typically speaking, you know, getting access to luxury brands used to be like foreign to like middle class people, even poor people. But in the times that we're living in, poor and middle class kind of like coincide with each other, which is pretty scary. But nowadays, anyone has access to them. What do I mean by that? When you have sites like tradez.com or The Real Real and Rent the Runway, I believe it's called. I will include a link below to those sites in case you're curious. And I want to be very clear that I'm not against luxury brands. I own a couple of items myself, not top tier. I would say they're like more of the middle lower tier, because I actually really like these bags and they work for me personally. But the reason why I feel like it's important to talk about this is because it seems like nowadays you see so many influencers like really flexing on the gram or on YouTube, you know, talk about their luxury items. And in my personal opinion, I feel like it's a little off-putting, especially if they started off as a small influencer that was relatable, and now more and more people are becoming less relatable. Now, are you saying, like, I don't want you to think, you know, oh, Nicole, what are you saying? Like, is there something wrong with having nice things? No, like I just said not too long ago, I'm not against luxury brands or people purchasing them, especially if they can actually afford them, okay? I've known too many people and witnessed too many people be late on the rent because they wanted to go buy a Louis Vuitton bag and they're still broke. I remember talking to, I interviewed a millionaire, and you know, he basically said, I'm not quoting here, not like word for word, but he basically said, if you're carrying like a $700 purse, but you don't even have $700 to your name, that just lets you know and gives you an idea of where your priorities are, or lack thereof, right? And I really thought, like, yeah, that's interesting. And I think we're all guilty of that, just coming from, especially, you know, being African American, you know, unfortunately, coming from African American communities, we're not taught financial literacy. So once we get a hold of something, we go all out, right? Because I think it's a way to escape what we did not have. But I thank God for getting older, because I've become more wiser. And I think there's just something foreign about, you know, taking an exotic vacation, but you're going into debt for it just so you can flex for the gram. Like, that's crazy to me. But it's not uncommon. I think there's something out there where There's an influencer who went $10,000 into debt just so she could look like she was living a life of opulence. And this really kind of goes back to not allowing social media to pimp you, but you need to pimp out social media. So going back to renting, right? I've been on this financial literacy journey and like on this journey of building wealth. And part of that is surrounding myself with the right people and getting sound advice. And one of the main things they said, the quickest way to go broke, or at least not to build generational wealth, is to rent. Now, are there some, you know, I guess, I won't say opportunities, but there's times where renting makes sense or it's okay, especially if like, you know that you're going to be moving in a house 6 months from now. So in the meantime, in the between time, you rent out a studio. Like renting in that sense makes sense to me because one, you're not responsible for fixing up anything and you can leave right then and there, versus if you're stuck in a 30-year mortgage and you have a family, you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? All for the sake of being a homeowner. So renting certain things, renting a boat for the day for your family, you know, because you want to get that experience. Like that makes sense because you probably don't have the capacity in your backyard to own a boat and hold a boat in your backyard. Like the average person doesn't have that. So renting makes sense. You know what I mean? Renting a room for the weekend to go on a staycation, things like that makes sense. Renting a handbag to me doesn't make sense, and this really lets us know how much we are being influenced the wrong way, in my personal opinion. And when I see people walking around with Louis Vuitton bags, and I hate to say this, especially my people, I'm not impressed, because it used to be people used to carry fake replicated bags. Now you don't have to, because now you can rent it. Now you can buy it secondhand, which buying it secondhand, like when it's like really softly owned because, you know, a rich person decided they were tired of the style and decided to sell it online. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's just crazy to me because you're seeing more and more people with these luxury goods, and it's just like, it's not exciting anymore because we all have access to it. Like in my personal opinion. So something that's easily accessible, in my personal opinion, holds no real high value. It's like a man seeking out the most like sought after woman, right? Like she's sought after, but she doesn't make herself accessible to every guy out there, which makes her more valuable. And I hate that I'm like comparing a handbag to a woman, but I want you guys to like understand and get what I'm saying. So I just really personally feel that when it comes to people really, I want to say posing really and flexing, don't always believe the hype. I'm not discrediting those who actually have it. Like I know people in my life who actually have the money. So when I see them and they're rocking a Louis Vuitton or Gucci or Hermes, like it's just like, but you have it. Like we know, like we could go look up your net worth and we know that, you know, buying a $1,000 bag is like nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, and I really give props to those people, especially those people who show people how they can make money and enjoy nice things in life as well. And I really feel like it's unhealthy, especially for our communities, because it's keeping us broke and it's very sad. So again, if you choose to rent your handbags, good for you. If you can like let me know in the comments below why you do that so I can have a better understanding. I personally could not rent a handbag, like especially if I'm never gonna own it. I think now online, when you do online shopping, you have options to pay it off. I just was taught at a young age, if you have to rent it or you have to make payments, you really can't afford it. And that's just that's just how I was taught. That's not me saying like, oh, because I was taught that, it's wrong if you were taught the other way. No, I really want to have an open discussion about it, you know, because to me, it doesn't make sense if you're only bringing in, you know, $2,500 a month, but you're carrying a $1,500 bag. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Give someone thing, you know, sometimes people just know people with money and they've been given a gift, which is great. but I know most of us really don't have friends who are just buying gifts like that. They just don't. But that moves me into my next point here. When it comes to luxury items as gifts. So last month I did celebrate my birthday, and I remember wanting two very specific things, and one of them, yes, was a Louis Vuitton backpack. And I told my boyfriend, like, I don't think that's really a smart expenditure for me personally, but if you want to give it to me as a gift, like, feel free, go right on ahead. He has the career, and he's the CEO of his own company, so he can do it. And so, you know, I was just like throwing little hints. Unfortunately, the bag that I wanted has been sold out everywhere, and we literally went to a Louis Vuitton store to go to see if it was available, and it wasn't. And I think the reason why we chose that route is just because, unfortunately, you can do the research. Louis Vuitton happens to be the #1 most replicated bag, so you have to be very mindful of what you're getting into when you're purchasing, you know, a Louis Vuitton or anything else outside of their website. Again, nothing wrong with that. There's people who literally like will buy the bag off the actual website and then resell it for maybe a couple $100 more. People are buying and flipping and doing things, which I feel like is the smartest thing. In that sense, it's an investment. So anyway, I am, of course, like building my brand and have a business project and everything like that. And so he took me out to dinner one day. I think this was like a couple of days before my birthday. So he was just like, you know, do you want to know what I was going to get you for your birthday? And I was just like, is it going to make me mad? He was like, it might. I was just like, and like my heart dropped. I had a feeling that he was going to say what I wanted to hear. And I was just like, oh, F it, just tell me. He was like, I was going to get you a Louis Vuitton bag. And I was like, authentic, right? He gave me that look like, come on now, I don't buy no fake shit. Like, that's stupid. Like, so I was just like, I almost cried. But he was just like, I'm going to get you something better that's actual investment that you can make money with and use that money, that profit, your profit that you make, and use that money to go buy the bag. That way now you have both. So I was like, see, man, this is why we work together, because great minds think alike, you know what I mean? And that's just much smarter to do it. And really the wealthy do it that way. You know, they generate multiple streams of income, and they use one income to pay off one thing and then another income to pay off another. So that way you're not just losing all this income to like one particular item or one particular investment and different things of that nature. So that's all really I wanted to say. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the value of luxury goods have gone down? I really know. And if you do rent out a bag, you know, what's your reason? It's not a right or a wrong answer. It's just what's your reasoning. So thank you guys for watching.